It's Miracle, and welcome back to Miracle Interacts. Um, it's been a long time. It's been a long time, y'all. I ain't posted an episode of the pod in I don't know how long. I know my last video in itself was a month ago, and that wasn't even an episode of the podcast. So, an episode of the podcast that was a minute ago. And I'm sorry. Life just be lifing, y'all, and I feel like y'all know this. And I'm not one of them people where I haven't really mastered kind of like working through all of my life stuff all the time. So, it be kind of I'm getting off topic, but life is life. But anyways, we back. I'm back with the consistent episodes. Back with the consistent pod episodes, and I feel like y'all really, really gonna like it. But before we even get into how the pod is gonna be ran now, what this episode is gonna be about. I'm gonna give y'all my whole list spiel like I always do. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you are liking, commenting, and subscribing, and also sharing this video. But also, tap in yourself. Like, I want you to go through some of my other videos, see what I'm bringing to y'all, go through my socials, kind of get a feel for who I am. All of my socials will be in the description of this video as well as previous videos. But if you're returning, make sure that you are like, commenting, and sharing this video so that as many people can get something from this as possible. So yeah, let's hop into this episode of the podcast. Okay, y'all. So, like I said, I haven't recorded an episode in a minute. But I feel like I kind of know the direction in which I want the podcast to like be ran now. I'm a really big reader. And I've always been like that. I mean, I took after like high school, even though I was in college, in college for sure, like I was still reading, still am because I am still in school. But after high school, I just wasn't reading like as much as I used to, or like as much as I would have wanted to. So I'm like, okay, no, I'm gonna really get back into it. Like, that really is one of my hobbies. So lately, I've just been getting more and more books and like actually reading, actually just still feeding my mind. Like, I feel like if you're not in school no more, if you're not, actively reading, like, still read, y'all. I'm not saying, read every day, all day, but like, still read, like, still, constantly feed your brain like more and more knowledge every day, besides just scrolling on social media all day, because that ain't really doing nothing. But as y'all can see, I got a little stack of books right here. These are some of like my latest pickups. Honestly, most of them I haven't even like started yet, but like I plan on starting them. Some of them I have started and they are really, really good reads already. I think this is like 10 books right here. Like, yeah, there's like 10 books. So this first one, this is what we're gonna be talking about in this episode. So I'm gonna leave this one. I'm gonna put this one to the side because we're gonna get back to this one. But I got this one. It's called Homebody. It's by Rupi Kaur. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his or her last name, but this is a really good book. I'm like halfway through this. I just haven't finished. And like y'all see, it's a pretty small book. I just be doing other stuff and then I start reading other books too. I have these two books right here. It's called Her. So I got volume 1 and then I got volume 2. If you see me looking at my computer, because I'm trying to see, how I'm looking, so I got volume 1 and volume 2. I heard that both of these are really, really good reads too, and I can't wait to get into these. I also have this other book. It's called Bless the Daughter, Raised by a Voice in Her Head by Warsan Shire. And it's just a book of poems. And honestly, I love poems and just reading them. Sometimes I feel like poems just speak more to me than like an actual book, which is hella, passages and stuff like that. It could be a little bit more personal, really tap into your soul a little bit more, like what you might be going through. So I love just reading poems. I also picked up Michelle Obama's book Becoming. I have not started reading this one yet, but I really, really can't wait. I heard that this is like such a good read, so I'm excited to get into this. I also have this other book, and it's called How to Love with Awareness and Relate Without Fear, Being in Love. One of the most inspiring spiritual leaders of our time. And it is by, I think their name is just Osho. That's what I'm getting, I think. That's the vibe I'm getting. Yeah, I think it's just by Osho. But this is the book. Real nice. I think I did start like reading a few pages of this. I don't really remember. So when I do get back into it, I'm just start from the beginning. I also picked up Viola Davis's book called Finding Me. I definitely gotta get into this soon. I watched her masterclass with Oprah, and it was just amazing. Like, I just love that woman, period. But you know, she started to get into like the things that were in her book, you know, how she grew up, all that good stuff, and I can't wait to get into it. Okay, and this last book, this is one that I'm like, I'm mad at myself that I haven't finished this book yet. Like, but like I said, I just be doing other stuff and I just don't be. But I'm pretty sure y'all have seen this big orange and blue book, The 48 Powers of Life, The 48 Laws of Power. I was just all over the place with that. But The 48 Laws of Power. And I did start reading this one, and it already was just getting into it. Like, this is a good read. If you don't get none of these other books, or if you don't get another book, period, get this book. Like, yeah, it's speaking. It's saying what it needs to say. And yeah, this is knowledge. This book is knowledge, like, for real, for real. But really, you know, I can't wait to get into all of these, for real, for real. But the book that we're gonna be discussing today, and like I said, I'm gonna tell y'all like how I want my pod run at this point. So I kind of had an idea from my cousin the other day. He came over and he saw like all of my books, whatever, you know. He kind of started skimming through this book that I'm gonna get into, and he was like, oh, you know, this would be pretty cool, like, for your channel, like your podcast episodes, like, you know, maybe you could close off with like one of the you know, pages up in here or whatever, you know, leave them with something or whatever. And I'm like, that would be cool. But I'm like, honestly, this could be based on my pods, you know, my different books, because this honestly is something that I enjoy, and I feel like it's really relatable, you know. The stuff, I don't just choose books just because they look cute on the outside. Like, nah, like, I'm gonna, you know, kind of skim through it a little bit, you know, read the cover. I might even do some background, you know, searching up things before I even go looking for a book. So I choose books with purpose, you know. I choose books that might be something that could speak to me, you know, that could be healing to me, that could, you know, just help me continuously grow. So I feel like it would just be perfect if I brought that to my audience, you know what I'm saying? So this book, and because I'm so excited to get into this, I feel like that's how my episode's gonna be ran. I'm gonna bring up a book, you know, probably read a little bit from maybe this passage, another passage, you know, maybe a chapter, you know, part of a chapter, whatever. Then we go get into it, you know, we go discuss it, you know, just really, really relating it to how we are, how we move on an everyday basis, you know what I'm saying? I feel like this book right here really, really does that, like, really, really good. So this book is called Heal, Grow, Love, Words to Help You Become by Pierre Alex Gnt. So I love this book because it really, really helps you and teaches you how to do all of these things. Like, it really, really does help you with your healing process, your growing process, your loving process, whether it's loving other people or loving yourself. So I love that. And I had started this book like months ago. Like I said, life be life, man. And I be putting my books to the side sometimes. But I had already got through the heal chapter. But of course, you know, I need a little bit of a refresher. But right now, for my personal self, I'm in the grow era. I'm in a growth chapter. Not saying I'm in my growth era in life, because I feel like I'm still healing. But I'm in a growth chapter right now. But I want to start from the beginning with y'all. Like, I want to go through each chapter with y'all. I'm not saying every, you know, passage up in there. I feel like these are kind of like poems too, or just like short passages. I don't know, like, you can call it a poem, you can call it whatever. Some of them be longer than others. Some of them just be like a little snippet. Some of them might be like one line. But we gonna start off with healing today. We gonna start off with healing, and I chose some of the ones that were a little bit smaller than others, but we gonna do 3, and then we gonna like break them down, you know, really discuss it. And I feel like it's gonna be something that y'all like, because it's real. Like, really though, when I be reading these, I just be like, damn, like, how you so in tune with me? Like, how you so in tune with me? Like, how you up here in my mind? Yeah. And then I post like some of them like on my Instagram story sometimes, and I'll be like, yeah, because somebody else probably needs to hear this too. And it's really like speaking right now, go get this book. Go get this book. It's called Heal, Grow, Love. Once again, words to help you become. Get it. I got it right from Amazon. So, yeah. But let's get into the first little passage. Let's see. Okay. So, and they're broken up like, y'all can kind of see it. It's broken up to like, different things. But like I said, this is a part of the healing chapter. So it says, you've forgiven their sins and tried to be their savior on too many occasions. What would it take for you to forgive you without crucifying yourself first? Good Friday. Do y'all get that? Like, did y'all hear what that just said though? It said, you've forgiven their sins and try to be their savior on too many occasions. What would it take for you to forgive you without crucifying yourself first? Me personally, that's saying to me that whatever you went through, whatever your experiences are or whatever, it's been other people involved in that, right? And you're constantly allowing yourself to forgive them, look past whatever they've done, constantly give them grace and, for whatever they've done to you, regardless of how crazy it could have been, regardless of how traumatic the situation could have been because they were in it or involved, you've constantly forgiven them. Why can't you give yourself that same grace? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't you forgive yourself for the mistakes that you've done? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like so many times, and especially me, I'm such a forgiving and just, caring person. I'm always open to give somebody another chance, and everybody don't always deserve that. But even if they do deserve it, why can't I hold myself to that same standard? Why can't I accept that, okay, Miracle, you human just like they human. You can make a mistake. Like, you can make a mistake and then forgive yourself, learn from it, and don't let it happen again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of times we always hold stuff against ourselves, and then it doesn't really allow us to get to that healing point. We always so stuck on, okay, I did this, this is what caused the downfall. Now how am I going to get out of it? I feel like the first step to getting out of it is really admitting that, okay, I made a mistake in this situation. I could have caused this downfall, but I'm not going to harbor on that for too long. I'm going to forgive myself. I'm going to give myself grace for constantly allowing or dealing or putting up with certain things. You know what I'm saying? Just like you forgive your friend or your boyfriend or your girlfriend for doing whatever they did to you, forgive yourself too for allowing that to happen. Forgive yourself too for being blind on purpose, because sometimes we could be blind on purpose because we're so blind about other, things in a situation, whether it's love, just lust, whatever. Allow yourself to have forgiveness as well, because you make mistakes. You're human too. Like, you're not perfect. You're not going to get everything right. Sometimes we just go with our emotions. Sometimes we're not thinking with our brain for real. So it's like, okay, you know what? I messed up. I'm going to forgive myself though. And I know I'm not going to do that no more. Like, I know I'm not going to move like that no more. But how I'm going to heal if I can't move past this? I'm constantly, letting them go, letting them be free with whatever mistakes they did. But yeah, I'm holding myself to this super, super high standard. And I can't fall. Like, I can't make a mistake. I can't. And then get up and, like, redo it again. Get up and be like, okay, you know what? I messed up. But I'm forgiving myself for that. I let this happen, but I'm forgiving myself for that. Just like I'm letting you do that. I feel like that's just really, on an everyday basis type thing, especially me. Like, I don't know, y'all. That right there, it just, and then they say without crucifying yourself first. Like, without me just, because I feel like a lot of times we just get on ourselves so much. Like, we beat ourselves up so much for the little things that we do. For the little things that we do that could have caused the big outcome, that could have caused a smaller outcome. But I'm human. Like I said, I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to fall. I'm going to get down sometimes. But as long as I can remember, okay, you know what? I'm just like everybody else. I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? Let me get up. Let me dust it off. Let me forgive myself and also not do it again, Because once again, with forgiving yourself, like, we don't want it to be a constant cycle. Like, at a certain point, yeah, give each other grace, have that grace for ourselves, but we can't always keep saying that. We can't always say, okay, I'm human, I'm going to make a mistake, I'm going to da-da-da. but when we go learn from the mistake. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's where the self-awareness and, you know, the self-reflection comes in. Like, okay, I did this before, but I'm not doing it again. And even if I do it again, how was it different than the first time? Did I completely do it the same way that I did the first time? Like, was there any type of error correction, you know, any type of reflection that went into it before I did that? So I just feel like that was one that really, really stood out to me. I got two more in healing too that really, you know, really stood out to me. Let me see. I'm trying to see which one I want to do first. This one. I want to do this one first. It say, and sometimes the only thing keeping us from holding hands with our healing is us. Not the weight of betrayal, nor the burn from the pain, nor the aftermath of the hurt, but our unwillingness to get up and choose healing. It's really that last part for me. But our unwillingness to get up and choose healing. Like, sometimes I feel like when we go through depression or just, you know, really just down states in our life, at a certain point, it's not even so much of the situation that happened. It's not even so much of the traumatic thing that happened. It's just me sitting and dwelling in the aftermath of it. Like, it's like low key, I'm over what happened. And not even realizing it for real. Cause it's like my mind is kind of playing tricks on me. It's like I'm telling myself that, oh yeah, I'm still in this situation because of what happened. But no, really, you're in this situation because you haven't even started to heal from it yet. You haven't even tried to put one foot forward to get out of this deep, dark hole that you might be in right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you kind of over the situation, but you just feel like, okay, I went through something traumatic, so I have the right to just, you know, be down and out about it for however long I want to be down and out about it. And I mean, you can, to each his own. But whenever we're yelling, oh, I'm healing, you know, I'm growing, you know, I'm in a process of trying to get better. I just came out of this situation. Are you really though? Like, or are you just sitting in it and just giving that as an excuse to move how you moving? You know, and I feel like that's something that I tell people a lot of times. Like, look, I get it. You know, like, you went through this situation. It was hard. It was rough. I'm not downplaying that at all. But how long you go sit in it? How long you just go let it be there? How long you just go feel like in your head that you just sitting in this empty, dark room, nothing going on, just silent? How long you go let that go on before you yourself have to get up and actually actively try to heal? You gotta actually actively get up and try to build yourself back up. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's one of my strongest things as a friend. That'd be like my number one thing I tell people. I'll be like, okay, well, how long you gonna sit in it? Like, how long you go deal with this? When you go actually start getting up and, you know, trying to think about ways to get yourself out of this hole, you know, try to heal that heart again, you know, try to build back up that heart, you know, try to build that mindset back up of like, okay, that's not who I am. That's what I went through. That's what I experienced. But that didn't make me who I am right now. I'm not going to always be in that position. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's like. When is that willingness for actual healing go come into place, you know? And I'm always here for get in tune with your emotions. Like, tap in with your emotions. You know what I'm saying? Like, know how you feeling. Like, with some situations, it's not just going to take a day or two or a week or two or a month or two. It's not. But you got to have that spirit of discernment as well as speaking to God about, when is this period over for me? You know, like, when am I gonna be ready to get up and actually actively every single day start putting in that hard work to get back to how I used to be, or not even how I used to be, to become a better me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I feel like prayer is just so, I just feel like prayer is just like everything, and it just really works with everything. Like, whenever I'm, you know, down and about, you know, I might be in my depressive state or whatever. Okay, cool. I'm finna sit in this for a minute because I honestly just can't right now. But I'm not finna let that drag on, because it's also like, once you just let that drag on, you can't do nothing else in your life. You can't get up for work for real. You can't get up and do whatever you're doing for your family, your friend. You can't really be there for nobody else because you're not even there for yourself. So when are you going to be able to put that to the side? And you really got to let your mind... It's kind of like you got to let your mind overpower your mind. Like, you got to really tell yourself and really believe it, then actually do it. Like, okay, you know what? I'm not dealing with this no more. I'm finna get up and I'm actually finna start putting in this work to become a better me. I'm not my trauma. You know what I'm saying? I'm not what I've been through. I'm not that person. I don't want to be this person for the rest of my life. I don't want to be that person that's depressed 24/7. I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that like it's super, super easy to come out of depression, you know, come out of these horrible, you know, mindsets that we might have. It's not easy. It is a process. But are we ever going to be willing to enter that process and actually put in a work to make it out of that process? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel about it, you know. And I feel like I want to hear what y'all, like, you know, got to say about it too. Like, because I feel like we all go through a lot of the same things. We really, really do. I want to know what that healing process could look like for that person. You know, I want to know what your healing process looks like. I want to know, how do you feel like, okay, it's my time to not just sit in it no more. Like, it's my time to actually willingly get up and break that cycle. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I feel like that one was really, like, one of my favorite ones. Like, for real. Because I tell people that all the time, like I said, like, that unwillingness to get up and choose healing. You have to choose that you want to be healed. Not everybody is going to make that choice. And that's why they're just still sitting in it. That's why they still just dwelling in it. That's why they still, that's just their lifeline at this point. If you want to get better, cool. You could say that you want to get better all day. You could say that you want to come out of this state all day. You could say that you want to choose healing all day. But it got to be some type of proactive, you know, measurements that you taking to get there, you know. So, yeah. And the last one, it's a shorter one. It says, the journey of healing is choosing to play the hands you've been dealt while changing which table it is played on. Circumstances. That's just that. The journey of healing is choosing to play the hands you've been dealt while changing which table it is played on. Circumstances. That's just saying, when we born, we don't know the type of life that we just gonna automatically live. But sometimes we just dealt some cards that we weren't really expecting. We just placed in some circumstances that we wasn't really expecting, that wasn't really ideal. And a lot of times we can't really change them situations because it is what it is. This the position that God put me in my life. Okay, how am I deal with it though? How am I finna maneuver and operate with this throughout my life? I could change my circumstances sometimes, or I could tweak them a little bit, you know, make them a little bit better, you know, make them a little bit more livable for me, or whatever the case may be. Healing is really, really accepting. Healing is just accepting that this is what it is, but how am I going to work with it? How am I going to make the best out of this? Is, like I said, because I feel like this correlation that they made was so wrong. Journey of healing is choosing to play the hands you've been dealt while choosing which table is played on. Okay, I'm going to deal with what I got, but how I'm going to come up from this? How I'm going to elevate from this? You know what I'm saying? If I was raised this certain type of way, okay, how I'm going to get it? How I'm going to really elevate to that next level and not always be here. I'm still living with what I got, but I'm just making a better situation come out of it. You know, I'm just working with it and trying to work and get to a different level that I probably couldn't see when I was first dealt them cards. I couldn't see this when I was first dealt them cards. I didn't think that, okay, I started down here, but ultimately I'm getting up, I'm moving up because I'm playing with the cards that I was dealt, but I'm sitting at a different table. I'm sitting at this different table that's giving me more and more opportunities and more chances in life to do the things that I want and need to do that I didn't really think was possible when I was first given these cards. You know what I'm saying? And then it says circumstances. These are my circumstances. Unfortunately or fortunately, these are my circumstances. But you can always change your circumstances, or you can always tweak them. You can always... Yeah, you can always tweak them. You know, just change them, elevate. Like I said, just move higher. just prosper even more just with your circumstances, and then just really, really heal from that. Because whatever it could be, I'm sorry, y'all, but it's like whatever it could be, I don't gotta stay there. You know, I can move around. I could operate in a different way. I could maneuver in a different way and still get that healing that I need. Because with those cards that you're dealt, it's like you might need healing in the beginning stages because you was just given that. You could grow up in the worst environment with the worst parents, no parents, whatever, and you telling me I gotta deal with this? Like, these the cards that I was dealt? Yeah. That's just how life is sometimes. And it's definitely possible. It's so many people that I've seen, they've been dealt the worst cards in the deck, but you think that they still there now? No, they up here. They constantly moving. They steady moving. They not letting that stop them. And I want that for everybody. I want that for myself. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the healing process is definitely not, like I said, it might not be one day, it might not be 2 days. Like, it depends on you and how you move and what you really, really want for yourself. Like, truly want for yourself. Like, for real. I heard this audio. Excuse me, y'all. I heard this audio the other day. It was about Lotto. She had said something like, you could say that you want it so bad, that you just, want to grind so bad to get to where you want to be. Like, you could have dreams and stuff like that, but you actually got to get up and go get it. You actually got to get up and put that hard work and dedication in, and that goes into healing. That goes into healing. When you get to that next level that you want to be at, you want to be your best self as well. If you're not healed, or at least in the process of healing, how can you succeed? How can you flourish when you're in that position to do that? How can you succeed and flourish when you're in that position that should be reaching out and motivating other people to do this if you're not right yourself, or at least on the road to getting right yourself? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people out here that's on high levels doing a thing, doing a big one. I love that. But that don't mean that they 100% where they need to be. That don't mean that they 100% healed from past traumas, past disappointments, whatever. But it should be something up in there that's telling them, okay, you know what? I need to go hard. I need to go hard to become the best person that I could be, because a lot of people looking at me too. A lot of people is looking at me. And even regardless of the people looking at you, you got to worry about yourself as well. That number one, your soul, your heart, your mind got to be right. So let me get myself right for me first, and then I could be that person for other people too. You know what I'm saying? So that was just a little short, little something on healing. That was the first chapter. That definitely wasn't everything in healing, but as the episodes go on, like I was saying, I want to stay on this book for a minute, because this book really, really do got a lot of good just tokens, like a lot of nuggets of just life up in there. So we was on healing today. Next time I put out an episode, we'll definitely be on growth, just constantly growing in whatever position, whatever area you are in life right now. And then after that, we gonna move on to love, and then we go come back to healing, then growth, then love, then heal. Like, we gonna go back and forth. I'm not saying that we go get through the whole book, but I definitely want to get through a good chunk of it. And then once I feel like we've hit like a lot of things in this book, I'm gonna move on to another book. Yeah. And I want y'all to like comment and let me know like which book do y'all want to move on to next. Like, we could do Homebody, Her, Becoming, like, all of these different books. We definitely got to do the 48 Laws of Power. Because like I said, I started that one and it was already so many like gems up in there. And I'm like, it get real. Like, yeah, it gets like that. So y'all let me know what book y'all want to do after we finish this one, because I made the decision that we're doing this one first. But yeah, I'm so happy that I'm back doing the episodes, and I honestly do hope that y'all do get something from this, and especially from these, because I feel like these are really, really real. Like I said, I choose book that got something coming from it for me, something that's gonna really feed my soul, feed my mind, something that's gonna give me more and more knowledge. I'm feeding my brain constantly. I want to be knowledgeable in a whole bunch of different areas. So y'all, go do y'all research on some of the books that I showed y'all, and let me know which book y'all want to do after this one. But that's it for this episode. I'm so happy to be back. Like I said, we back with the constant content. I told y'all we trying to go up off content this year. So that's me speaking to myself, that, you know, I'm gonna be more consistent with it. You know, I'm back on it. I'm back on it. But thank y'all so much for watching. Whether you're new or old, whatever, make sure that you are like, commenting, subscribing, and sharing this video. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next episode. Bye. I got pretty like a girl.